Good morning, everyone. Hope you had a good night's rest. For those of us who are already up, and some of us are still resting on this morning until it's time for us to get up. But I just wanted to come to you just for a few minutes this morning in hopes that I can encourage you and inspire you through these words on this morning of encouragement and inspiration. And so I'm not going to take a long time in getting into the subject because I'm excited about what I'm going to be talking about this morning. And I got on another one of my shirts, and I'm going to kind of go from that subject title of stop looking at it and just do it. Stop looking at it and just do it. And underneath that title is my subtitle, which is courage. So so what I'm saying this morning, what I have on my heart to share with you this morning, and I feel like not only I need to hear that, somebody out there as well, because we see so many negative things on a daily basis, and if you allow that to impact you, you will never ever reach your goals in life. Let me say that again. If you allow all the negativity that is spreaded around you, and I'm saying it's not for you, it's just that you are seeing it and you are witnessing it, and that stuff will soak you up if you are not careful. You have to make a choice to get away from negativity. If a person is always, everything that they say is a downer, you need to get away from that. If every movie you looking at leaves you in tears, you need to get away from looking at those types of movies. You got to move forward in some of the positive things that God has planned for you. God has so much planned for your life. He has big plans for you. But you can't get them done when you're looking at negativity, when you are surrounding yourself with negativity. You can't get nothing done because negativity is like a sponge. It just soaks your mind up. And you end up losing everything that you fought for. Stability in your life. Stay around negativity and you're going to lose that. Courage in your life and for your life, you're going to lose that. Faith in God, you're going to lose that if you keep hanging around negativity. If you keep feeding negative things in your mind, that's what you're going to birth. That is what you're going to birth. If you keep doing that, because whatever you feed will grow. If you feed courage, your courage will grow. If you feed faith, your faith will grow. But if you feed negativity, it'll wither. And one of the things that I've learned in life, in order to get back up again, in order to start over again, it takes courage. You got to have courage. And that's why you like my shirt say, stop looking at it and just do it. Stop looking at whatever it is that you are looking at that has your attention, that is taking you away from your dreams, away from your goals, away from your focus in life. Stop looking at it. Stop spending time on it because it's consuming you and you are losing your way. And guess what? You bigger than that. You better than that. And you're trying to get on the other side of greatness. And if you don't let go of these negative things that you are surrounding yourself with, you'll never get there. You always going to have some naysayers. You always going to have some people that don't believe in you. But you must believe in yourself. Somebody's going to always compete against you or challenge you or whatever it is that people do. You know the things that people do. You're going to always have that. But around you, happening to you. But don't focus on that. Stay the course. Stay the course. I was reminded of a scripture. When I thought on the having courage and the fact of to stop looking at it, just do it. I was reminded of a scripture that says, and let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. See, if you don't faint, you're going to get your blessings. If you don't faint, if you don't become weary and faint, you will see what it is that God has for you, what he wants for you, what he's trying to do with your life. It's not, look here, it don't matter if you don't have a huge audience. Because long as God is your audience, you're going to be all right because you won't faint. So whatever you're doing, build on your courage in that. But remember that you need courage. You need courage in order to do the things that's been set before you. You need courage to start up again. Come on now. All of us have gotten to a point in our lives where we get weary. Oh, yes. And we wouldn't be telling the truth if we say we never got weary. But you got to have courage to start up again. Can you do that? Can you talk to your courage and start up again? Because guess what? Out of all the lives that you are impacting, out of all that God has equipped you with, you can't afford to give up. You can't, whoever you are, you cannot afford to give up. So what if people quit on you? Let them quit on you, but don't you quit on yourself. We very often will stop doing something because we feel like what other people feel about what we're doing. As long as God is your audience, stop worrying yourself with that. Stop concerning yourself with that. Because as long as he's your audience, that means he's watching you. That means that he's providing for your next step. That means that he is putting some peace in your life. That means that he is giving you some courage. That means that he is building your faith. That means that he has plans for you. Long as he is your audience. See, you won't get weary with well doing. See, you won't worry about the crowd following you. You won't worry about those people that stop talking to you. You won't worry about those people that never attend functions that you have. You'll stop worrying about all of that. That won't even concern you because guess what? You working out your courage through your faith. And you're not looking at who going to support you and who's not going to support you. You begin to look at God and what he is doing for you and through you, and realizing you've got to have courage to start back up again. That is for all of us. That is a reminder to all of us that we must have courage wherever you fell off at. Remember, you got to have courage to start up again. And stop focusing on the negative. Don't look at where you fell and you scarred up your knee. That scar will heal. You just can't allow yourself to keep falling because of what somebody else say about you, what somebody else think about you. And whether they believe in you or not, as long as you have the courage, that stuff won't even matter. That stuff won't even matter. Because God will give you that next step. Remember yesterday, I was telling y'all about moving to that next level. Start sharing your story with somebody else. You know what? You never know how you're strengthening somebody. Sometimes there's somebody that needs to hear your story. Just like in life, God is telling us, I got something else for you to do. When you start telling your story to other people, you are telling those people, God got something else for you to do. Get up, stand up, straighten your back up, get some courage, and keep moving. Sometimes when people are talking to you, just like his parents, it seemed like no matter what they said, it was repetitive. It was like they were saying the same thing over and over again. And in your mind, as teenagers coming up through life, you thinking, why do they keep saying this? They sound like a broken record. No, people say to you the things that they know that are best for you. They feel that that is going to push you to keep moving forward because they don't want you to give up. You, whoever you are, you have had some challenges in your life. You've had many challenges in your life. Maybe childhood wasn't so good for you, but you made it. Maybe your experience in public school system wasn't as good for you. Wasn't all that great, but you made it. Maybe college life was a struggle for you, and you didn't think you was going to get that degree. You didn't even see that degree in your future, but you made it. That job that you have, they could have chose a lot of people, but they chose you. They chose you. And guess what? You made it. You made it through that interview. Against many other people, you made it. You got that position. Don't look at things that God do for you and doors God open for you as a small thing, because to God, that's a big deal. You've been in arenas and on platforms and being able to share your knowledge and your truth about whatever it is. I will say for myself, I've been in places. I've traveled places that I just dreamed of. But God opened up doors in my life. He's opened up doors in your life. You got to trust him in all that you are doing. There's so many good things happening. I see them on social media every day. people businesses. You open that business. When you first opened that business, you didn't see that business where it's at right now. You didn't even think that you would see your business going to the level that it's at right now. Right now. And you've had your ups and your downs in that business that you created, that you had never at one point in your life didn't even know, didn't even have a thought of being an entrepreneur. But look at it now. You made it. You are doing it. I see it every day. Every day. People are doing the very things that people doubted them about. And you know what? That's because God's saying to you, I'm taking you to that next level, but you got to see me. You got to see me in everything that I'm doing in your life. Stop looking at the people. Get back up again. Jumpstart yourself with some courage. That's what jumpstarts your faith, your courage. Your courage in what? Your courage in God. Your strength in God. Your faith in God. And you got to get away from negativity. Sometimes it's the people sitting right next to you that's killing you. Let me say that again. It's people sitting right next to you, killing you. It's people that's hugging you, killing you. It's people that's telling you that they with you and they really not with you. They killing you. They killing you. Because you know for a fact, if nobody else knows, that, listen here, whatever God calls you to do is bigger than you. Let me say that again. I don't think sometimes we don't get that. But I learned that. And then I'm going to say it again, but I'm going to explain what I'm talking about. God, whatever God calls you out to do is always bigger than you. Always. What I mean by that. See, again, going back, the things that you've done in your life, only you know things that you've accomplished in your life. Only you know there's some dreams and goals that you still want to meet. You know you got a lot of things that you want to accomplish, okay? So when God calls you to do that thing, he equipped you, right? The reason why he equipped you, because whatever he gives you is always bigger than you. Whatever God gives you is always bigger than you. That's why that thing can look scary sometimes. And that's why he reminds us in his word, don't you get weary with well doing. Do not get weary with well doing. I knew the assignment that I gave you was going to be bigger than you. You know why it's bigger than you? Because I gave it to you and I have expectations of you and I'm going to carry you through this thing. I just need you to have faith in me, and to have faith in me, you got to have some courage. And you can't have courage when you don't trust God. You can't have courage infiltrating yourself around negative people. You can't have courage. You can't have courage just always sitting down and doing nothing but complaining. That's not even an option. That's not even an option. I was telling my grandson, son, you got to look like where you're going. I tell him that all the time. You got to look like where you're going. I'm saying that to you this morning. You got to look like where you're going. If you going to the next level, you got to walk like you going to the next level. You got to talk like you going to the next level. You got to dress like you going to the next level. You got to prepare your mental like you going to the next level. You got to look like where you going. You got to do that. I got to do that. Where you going? Just think about it. Each one of us individually, we have to think about that thing. Do I look like where I'm going? Because if you're trying to get to the next level in your life, and I pray that we all are, stop trying to help everybody else reach their goals and focus on your goals. I was looking at a video on my grandson's Instagram page, and it was from the guy Nipsey Hussle. And I noticed my grandson is starting to mimic some of the things that I do, because I'm starting to see him have more motivational things on his page, on his Instagram. And one of the things that this young man said, he said, the only difference between me and them is that I chose not to quit. I didn't have it all together. I'm not gonna, he's saying this to the person interviewing him, I'm not gonna sit here and say that I had it all together, that I had it all planned out. The only difference between me and them is that I didn't quit. I made a choice not to give up. I'm going to say this to you this morning. The only difference between you and other people that you've been around and that have been around you is that you made the choice not to give up. You made that choice. You did that. And you ought to be proud of yourself that with all the naysayers, with all the negative things said about you, with all the ugly things done towards you, with all the doubts that people, thought about you, you didn't give up. And the only reason why you didn't give up, because you made a decision not to quit. Other people can quit on you. Do not quit on yourself. Whatever you do. Because guess what? If you don't remember nothing else from this morning, the only reason why you have gotten back up again was because you have recognized, you within your mental have recognized that what God called upon you to do, that thing that he has blessed you to do, is bigger than you. And the reason why it's bigger than you, because God don't do little stuff. He don't do little stuff. And he's a big deal. So everybody that looks at, get this morning, everybody that looks at your stuff is just something small, God say it's a big thing to him. Your thoughts in your mind or that next thing you want to do, that's a big thing to God. Stop consuming yourself with what people got to say and consume yourself with what God has to say. Because the only reason, listen to me now, the only reason why your life is like it is, the only reason why you have faced ups and downs and you've come out of them is because God knew he could trust you with it. See, the troubles that I've had in my life and I didn't understand it, God said the only reason why I gave that trouble to you, the only reason why I allowed that trouble, the only reason why I allowed those circumstances to come into your life is because I knew that I could trust you with it. And it's not just for me. It's for you too. When people put you down and you walked away with tears in your eyes, God say, I could trust you with that. When people said things against you that they knew they weren't true, but they said them and they spreaded those lies about you, and yet you didn't say anything, but you walked away with a broken heart. God say, I knew that they was going to do that, but I also knew I could trust you with it. When your children grow up and they go astray and you don't know which way to go, because it looked like instead of people helping you, they're talking about you more than they trying to help you. And God said the only reason why you went through that and came out of it is because I knew I could trust you with it. And you know why he could trust you with it? Because he knew that you had faith in him. He also knew you was going to get weary from time to time with well-doing, but you didn't throw in the towel. You kept going. With tears in your eyes, you kept going. With brokenheartedness, you kept going. When people turned their backs on you, you kept going. When people didn't believe in you, you kept going. And you know why you kept going? Because you did a restart on your courage. It takes courage to get back up. It takes courage to start up again. It takes courage to keep believing in yourself. It takes courage to keep inspiring others when you can't even inspire yourself. It takes courage to keep loving people that you know they can't stand you. It takes courage to be kind to people when people, they treat you so ugly. It takes courage when people despitefully misuse you. It takes courage when people hugging you and you know in reality they don't even like you. It takes courage in all of that. It takes courage to look at the next month of bills that's piling up and you got more month than you got money. It takes courage to keep trusting God through the process. It takes courage. It takes courage to walk away from some of these jobs that just don't treat us right. It takes courage. It takes courage to start up your own business. It takes courage. All of that takes courage. So no matter what you do, keep this in mind. Do not quit on yourself. Keep pushing. Keep going. And look here. If you don't see nobody else in your audience, whatever you doing, if you don't have nobody else as a part of your audience, as long as God is a part of your audience, you're going to be all right. Because sometimes it's just you and God. That's the truth. And I couldn't say that if I never been through it. Sometimes I remember parking on the side of the road, just parking with tears in my eyes. And I would say, God, it's just me and you. God, it's just me and you. I've been in those situations. God, they saying stuff about me. I don't even want to live in that town no more. God, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. I'm saying to you, sometimes it's just you and God. You can have children. You can have a spouse. You can have a mother and a father and friends. You got them. They out there. But let me tell you this morning. God gonna always bring you to a point where it's just you and him. It's just you and him. It's just you and God. You know, I used to go and work with parents of murdered children. And one of my things that I would always say, I will not say that I understand how y'all feel. Because you can't say that when you haven't lost your child to a murder. And I said, Lord, I remember saying this. I said, God, you got to give me what to say. Because I'm going into a situation where people are so broken. And I don't know how to help them pull it back together. You give me what to say. And I remember parking outside the building. And I said, I don't want to mess up, God. I don't want to mess this up. Because I knew when I walked inside that building, everybody in there was going to have tears in their eyes. I already knew that. And I remember saying, God, it's just you and me. I remember saying that. God, it's just you and me. I need you to talk to me. These parents have lost their children. I need you to give me the words to say. And one of the things that he whispered to me is, it's just you and me. You will never say that you know how they feel because you have not had that experience. But you can say, I empathize in the best way that I know how. See, when you haven't walked that road with somebody, when you're not on that road with somebody, could you imagine how I felt walking in that room with parents of murdered children? And my daughter was very young at that time. She was like 7, 8 years old. I couldn't even imagine that, how they felt. And I spoke to them as God spoke to me. See, I've been in some places. And I faced some things. And I faced some things that I know that nobody get me through that but God. So God said, if I got you through that, don't you know I'll get you through that next thing? And let me tell you something, when I know for a fact, and I'm telling you this and prayerfully that it encourage you to keep going and doing whatever it is that you are doing, that whatever God calls you out for is always going to be bigger than you. God called me out for that at that time. That was bigger than me. That situation, that was bigger than me. But I realized it's just me and God. And when I left, they hugged me. And you know, one of the things is that gave me confirmation. When I asked the question, what can I do? What is it that I can do? As the facilitator in this group. And one lady said, you've done the best. You've done the best thing that could ever be done for me and my husband. You did not put yourself in our shoes in the fact that you didn't say you knew how we felt. You let us know. You had not a clue of how we felt. But you were here to help us in the best way that you could. See, when somebody tells you that, you're going to remember that the rest of your life. You're going to remember that the rest of your life. I've been on task force. I've looked at records. I've sat at that table. And you know what? The only reason why I was able to do what I was able to do because God equipped me that way. He equipped me for that. You see me now, but I've been in a lot of situations where it was nobody but me and God. I've been at the table with the detectives. I went out to the sites, the crime scene. I've been there, and I've looked at the people who lost people and in their eyes. And when I tell you, it's a pain that you don't never want to feel. It's a pain you don't never want to experience. You don't want to do that. That's a hard pain. And you got to have God to keep this intact. This right here. So when people look at you, because you are out there today and you done been through some things that people don't even know. It's some stuff people don't even know about you. They don't even know what you came through. They don't even know how many times you cried. They don't even know how many times you sat with your head hung down. They don't know how many times you done got behind the wheel of that car and you felt like you wanted to end it. Come on, we done all been there. We done all been there. They don't know how many times because they don't know your story. I tell y'all, stop hiding your story. Your legacy is on the inside of you because you won't want to tell nobody what you've been through that helped you to get you to where you are now. You ain't always been where you are. It's some young people out there need to hear your story. Because this is the three things about life. This is the three things about life. You either on your way through it, to it, or you in it, or you're on your way out. That's what situations are. You either on your way to a situation that somebody else done already experienced, or you in a situation that somebody done already experienced, or you're on your way out. And you got to be there, and you got to tell your story, and you got to share your legacy. You know why? Because there are some people just now starting what you done came out of. And you got nerve enough to hold your story. Your story. And some of us are holding our stories because we're afraid of what somebody else and how somebody else gonna feel about it. Well, good luck with that one. Because I'd rather be in trouble with man than be in trouble with God. Because when God gave you that testimony, God's saying to you, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? So on this morning, before I get off this morning, I'm pleading with you not to give up on yourself, not to quit on you, but start up your courage again. Right now, in this moment, start up your courage in whatever it is that you are trying to do. Restart your courage. How you going to restart your courage? For one thing, you're not going to get weary with well doing. That's one thing you're going to do. You can start right there by not getting weary with well doing. Because guess what? You're going to be all right as long as you faint not. In other words, as long as you don't quit. And remind yourself that you got to have a faith checkup every now and then. Okay? We go to the doctor for everything, but you can't go to the doctor for this. You got to have a faith checkup every now and then. The dentist, he can only check on your teeth. The optometrist, he can only check on your eyes. Psychiatrists, they only check on your mind. But you and I both got to depend on God for our faith checkup. You need a faith checkup, all of us. Faith in him. A reminder that whatever God calls you out to do is always bigger than you. So you got to have it. And you got to have courage. And that's how you get it, through your faith checkup. And guess what? I'm going to end this on this morning with my t-shirt saying, stop looking at it. Stop looking at it. Just do it. Okay? Stop looking at it. Just do it. All right? I love you guys. I enjoy coming on and speaking with you in the mornings and prayerfully inspiring you and encouraging you. That's my prayer. To have more courage, to have more faith, to do those things. Do some things that make you happy. Do some things that bring joy to your life. Stop living your life for everybody else except for yourself. You are human too. And you deserve everything that God has for you. All right? So, on this morning, before I get off, again, I'm going to give you a reminder of two things. Tonight, my friend Jacqueline Sarver, who is not only an author, she's written many books, many essays. She teaches courses on writing, and she's offering it online at Jacqueline Sarver's Life Well Lived. I'll get it up. Jacqueline's Life Well Lived. But I'll put it on my Facebook page for you all. You can listen in. She's not charging anything for these writing sessions. Last week she did a session on essays, beautiful session. And again, it's free. Jacqueline's Life Well Lived. Okay, so and it's a resource to anybody that want to utilize it. And you can take these different writings, type ways of writing. She breaks it down and help it. You use it to help yourself. You might want to write grants or anything. She is really good at it. She's also my technical director, so she does a lot of technical things with the podcast to keep it, moving along smoother than I could ever do it, because she has that technological background as well. So if you can, at 7:00 on Tuesday nights, which tonight is Tuesday, tune in to Jacqueline's Life Well Lived and listen to her writing sessions that she have. It's only 1 hour from 7 to 8 o'clock. It's for all age groups. My granddaughter, Miracle, is 11. She enjoys it. And at some point, Miracle wants to write a book. So she's kind of going through the different phases and portions of writing. It's real interesting. So if you get a chance, tune in to it on tonight. And if not tonight, every Tuesday from 7 to 8, she offers that. And then remember that on tomorrow, the guest that I was supposed to have on the podcast, on the 6 o'clock podcast, Electra James Inspirational Talks, on my YouTube channel, she had to cancel due to some unforeseen circumstances. And she has, made me aware that she still wants to come on. She just have to do it at a later date. So we'll get her rescheduled. But myself and Jacqueline, my technical director, we're going to do a short session on starting again, regular time, podcast time at 6 o'clock, on the misconception of disabilities. So if you can, tune in. And also, if you have any questions or anything, you can get in the chat section like many of you do, and I really enjoy that. And that way I can read off some of the questions that you may have as we go through this session on tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on my podcast. So those were my announcements for today, this morning. And so I pray that you all have a wonderful day and keep the courage. All right? Keep the courage. And remember this, stop looking at it. Just do it. All right. Bye-bye.